Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Let's talk about the U.S. court and how they rejected President Trump officials' effort to delay rulings on veterans benefits. Now, when we're talking about Trump officials, it's really pointing the finger at the VA secretary. So before we jump into it, I do want to throw on a special thank you to T Sterling 009. Thank you so much for the super comment, super chat. I really do appreciate your support very much. All right, so this was actually on for those that don't know, I have a rooster. His name is Stan. You'll hear him in the background sometimes. And look, if you want to support the channel and with purchasing merchandise, I did create a merch kind of store. So feel free to check it out. If you see something you like, awesome. Share the word. Support the channel in that way if you would like. All right, so jumping into it here, U.S. court rejects Trump officials' efforts to delay rulings on veterans benefits. All right, so this was on The Guardian. This just came out recently here toward the end of October 2025, and I wanted to share it with you here today. And we're going to read through it and kind of dismantle and kind of see what kind of things are going on. So let's go for it. A panel of U.S. judges has rejected an effort by the Trump administration to delay court rulings on claims by veterans who say they've been unfairly denied disability benefits and other compensation tied to their military service. All right, the 9-0 ruling, unanimous, handed down on Wednesday by the Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims was led by Chief Judge Michael Allen, a Trump appointee. The action is the latest example of the growing number of federal judges pushing back against Trump administration moves. Wednesday's decision came after Secretary of Veterans Affairs Doug Collins asked the court to halt work on nearly all cases until the government shutdown concludes. Okay, let's just play devil's advocate here for a second. Well, let's play both sides of the coin. One, okay, that's wrong. Don't slow down the process for veterans. They've been waiting long enough. There's that. Okay, well then let's look at the other side of the coin from I guess just a workload perspective. You have a government shutdown. Maybe not all your resources are in place, and you don't want to dig yourself a deeper hole, so you'd rather slow the flow of incoming, meaning court decisions that are ruling in the benefit of veterans, back. A lot of times there'll be remands. It makes the VA have to. So there's three things that can happen in a court ruling. Typically, it's going to be an approval, denial, and then there's also remand, right? So those are those three things. Approval, denial, remand. Remand means push it back to the VA. They have to gather more evidence, whatever. It's still a win in a weird way, but it's not an approval. It's moving the needle in the right direction. So from, I guess, and I don't agree with this, but I think from a business perspective, if your resources are a bit overburdened, you may look at the situation and go, hey, can you slow the flow of remands or approvals back to us because we're in a tight spot just until the government reopens. Again, I don't agree with it, but that's probably the perspective. It's probably not malicious is all I'm saying. But nonetheless, here we are. So Wednesday's decision came after Secretary of Veterans Affairs Doug Collins asked the court to halt work on nearly all cases until the government shutdown concludes. Okay. Again, I don't agree with that. Just let it roll and just deal with the numbers as they come in. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're busier than ever. I think it sets the wrong mindset, I think, and the wrong impression for veterans to hear that that's asked, because most people don't think about, okay, well, what other sort of issues and why would you do that, right? It's just, why would you stop that? Why would you ask the court to stop? Again, I don't agree with it. I think it's just move forward with it is what you should do, and just take it as it comes and let it build up and just have more back work to dig through, unfortunately. Anyway, quotation here, pausing VA's deadlines is nearly every in nearly every case before the court is a significant and extreme request, and the Secretary has failed to demonstrate that such sweeping relief is appropriate, the judges wrote. So again, relief. So that one word means a lot in this. It means that the VA Secretary was coming to the court saying, hey, look, we're overburdened. We need a pause. We need a relief so we can get past where we're at. Once it opens back up, we can take that influx. Okay, so relief is the key word there. However, it wasn't demonstrated to the level required for the court to feel as though it was appropriate. And I agree with the court wholeheartedly. And really, quite frankly, that would never, ever, ever be the situation, in my opinion, where the court would say, okay, let's just pause everything and let the VA catch up. No, you need to figure out a way to catch up. And if that's bringing on more staff, then that's what you need to do. But we're not going to slow down the process, especially because the court processes, whether it's the Board of Veterans Appeals or otherwise, in this case, the U.S. Court on Veterans Appeals for veterans claims, either one. So, it's a quick side note. For those that don't know, there's two courts in the veterans claims process, right? So first you go through the whole VA filing for claim stuff. Then in the event that your claim is not adjudicated appropriately, you can move it to the Board of Veterans Appeals and have a veterans law judge take a look at it there. Now, if the veterans law judge disagrees and gives you an unfavorable result, you can push it to the Court of Appeals for veterans claims, and then they can then kick it back. So there's multiple layers here that's happening. So let's move on. Veterans groups, which have urged politicians to end the shutdown, said Collins was using the impasse as a pretext to deny veterans their day in court. Some of those veterans have already waited 10, 20, or even 50 years for VA, the law, and the science to allow them to file claims for toxic exposure such as Agent Orange and burn pits, said Paul Sullivan, a Gulf War veteran and national vice chair of the advocacy group Veterans for Common Sense. If VA had prevailed, these veterans could have faced indefinite delays for their benefits and in some cases their care. Trump sought to make those veterans wait longer, and that's unconscionable. I can't even say it. Unconscionable. That's unthinkable. All right. Sometimes I feel like Porky Pig. Here we are. All right. If you hung on 8 minutes, throw Porky in the comments, and I'll know you made it. All right. The VA Press Secretary Pete K, because I can't say his last name, did not respond to inquiries by the Guardian's deadline. In its petition, Agency General Counsel James B. acknowledged that delaying these veterans' cases is undesirable, but said the lapse in federal funding could preclude the VA from performing the official functions necessary to satisfy the court's filing deadlines in most of the cases currently pending before the court. The Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims hears approximately 15,000 claims per year, or cases per year. In most cases, and that's an important point, okay? Your VA disability claim process with the VA is a legal process, and you must view it that way and understand that everything that you're giving the VA directly or indirectly by signing away authority to the VA to go get information for you is all going to be utilized as evidence for you or against you. It's so important to get it right the first time. If you cannot find a free, accredited representative to help you through the process that's capable and competent, if you can't find that, reach out to us. We're happy to help. Evidence-based VA claims, and that information will be in the description and in the comments. You can simply just email us and say that you're looking for some assistance, and we will help you out. All that information's in the description and in the comments. All right, the Court of Appeals, 15,000 cases per year. In most cases, it either grants the veteran's claim for compensation or sends the case back to the VA claims adjudicators to resolve errors that could have led to a wrongful denial of benefits. That's a remand. That's what that is. So approval, denial, remand. Those are your three options at the court. As of September 2024, the median time between a veteran filing an appeal for disposition of a case by the court was 222 days, or 7.5 months. All right. So with that, we'll go ahead and conclude it there. Love to get your thoughts on this. And with that, thanks for watching. I appreciate you very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.